Hello everyone and welcome to my corner of the world. Today I'm going to share with you how to use the many layered blossom dies. And this is the card I'm going to use to show you how to use these dies. And if you look real carefully, you'll see that there's sort of a bottom layer, a bigger layer, and then an outline layer here. And that's created with two dies. This one, which does the bottom layer, which gives you a sort of a bigger, this bigger piece here. And then you get an outline one. And this one I've kind of all got set up to show you how to create the outline. So I decided that I would colour up some cardstock to give me lots of lovely variations of pastels. And so all I've got is a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to be using a sponging technique. So I've got my stamping sponges and I've got four different colours, and just very gently, I'm just going to tap off on the side just to get any excess ink. And then I'm just going to apply some blobs of ink. And I'm just using like a little circular motion like this. And I want it pastel, so I'm not making it too heavy. So then I'm going to put on Saffron, that's my yellow. Like that, and I'm just kind of making sure that I fill in spaces, and then I'm going to go in with the balmy blue, and just to make sure that, as I say, I've got a little bit of some colour ink on every part of my cardstock. And then my final colour is going to be Highland Heather. And you could choose any colours that you have in your stash. And I'm going to make sure now that I've got colour on all bits of my card. And then just blend in some bits like that. So that's basically how I coloured up my card. And it does look a bit blotchy, but when you cut it out, like this one, you can see that you've just got little bits of colour all over the place. And as I say, I cut it out with this larger die. So then the outline, I have used the copper foil, and one of the new products that's in the annual catalogue, and this is the Adhesive Sheets. And so you get, let's see, you get 12 sheets, 12 by 6. So there's bunches in there to make various projects. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut a piece that is big enough for your project, and it just lifts off. If you can see, it's got like 3 separate sections, and you can just lift it off, and you're going to stick it to the back of your piece of foil. Then you're going to run it through the Big Shot using the second die in the set. And I've already done that to save time. And all I'm going to do is to use my brush along with my pick your tool. And I'm just going to get the big pieces out. You can see that they're coming out really quite quickly. And it's nicely cut on the back, so it's all comes out. And that's what the die looks like. You can see a lot finer edges. So when I've done that, get all those bits out of the way, I'm just going to use the pokey end of the tool, and I'm just going to gently ease it out of the sort of main part. Now I cut a piece here 5.5 by 4.25, which is a 1/4 sheet of cardstock. Both of these dies fit on a 1/4 sheet of cardstock. So I'm just going to push these larger pieces out, and some of the give a little nudge to some of the smaller pieces. Now I don't want to run my brush over this now it's out of the die, because it will mark the foil, and you won't get such a shiny surface. But it just takes a few moments to just push the rest of these, loosen the rest of these up. Okie doke, and I'm just going to ease that. And I think I'll just give these smaller pieces a nudge. Now I'm not going to worry too much about these centerpieces, because if it's the same as when I did my first piece, these will all come out when I take the backing off the adhesive. So the reason that we're using that adhesive sheet is we don't now need to worry about using snail or blobs of glue, liquid glue, or whatever have you. It's all we've got, glue exactly where we need it, adhesive exactly where we need it. So I'm gonna make sure that I've got this the right way round. So I'm looking for my leaf coming down here and a leaf coming up there. And then you can see it's already, the backing has already started to lift off. Oh, managed to break it there. It's not been as obliging as I would have hoped with it there, but I'm going to push these little bits out. They're cut nicely. It's just that they're so small, it's a lot harder to pull those out. All right. And let's go and find the backing. I'm going to put my glasses on. Hold on a second. And forgive me. Now I can see the backing. There we go. So I'm just going to gently ease that down, and you can see that this is coming off in pieces because I had to use 3 pieces of the sheet, the adhesive sheet, and that's why it's coming off in pieces. Now you need to take these last few bits out before you stick them down, because once you've stuck them down, they won't come. You won't be able to lift them off. So forgive me while I just get these. If I stick them to my fingers, they're coming off much better. And I've got a couple more just there. They're all beautifully cut. As I say, it's just that they're so small, and I think it's the adhesive that is just holding them in place where it didn't need to be held in place. Hold on a minute, there's a few there. There we go. I think I'm good now. I've just wiped my fingers on my lap to get rid of the bits. I'll deal with those later. So let's move all those away. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up this leaf, and I'm not going to press too hard, just enough to, if you like, to tack it down. And I'm holding all of this in the air, and I'm just going to gently work my way round just to line up the edges of the foil with the edges of my sponged piece. It only takes a few moments, but it is so worth it. And once you've kind of got one end down, the rest of it just literally falls into place. It only takes but a few moments. There we go. Press it all down firmly to make sure that that is all stuck down. Oh, that is just so pretty. I love it. Now this time I am going to use a black background. This one is using the grey granite, but I'm going to use a black background, which will give it more of an oomph. And I have a layer here, and I've just run it through my embossing and cutting machine with the Subtles embossing folder, and I'm using glue dots, and I'm going to stick glue dots on the middles of the flowers because they're not going to show, and I'm not looking to, because it's light, it's not going to drop off. I'm going to make sure I catch that leaf because that sort of waves in the breeze. Oh, the top's coming off of that. And I'm also going to do the same on this other leaf here, because that also is kind of going to wave in the breeze and I don't want that to come off. Oh, I put one down there and I think I've got enough. Now you'll also see that there's some parts of this die that doesn't actually sort of stick to anything, but when you push it down firmly enough on here, it will help it to stick even more. So I'm going to line this up and I'm going to let it hang over. I'm going to have it a little bit further down. I'm going to let it hang over on a couple of places because it's not going to hang over the footprint of my card because my card is bigger. And then it's just really a case of pressing it all down firmly. And I'm going to attach it to the back of my card with some Stampin' Dimensionals. So those adhesive sheets are really great for sticking down really fine pieces. Now then, that's my top, I believe. Yes. Only because I consider that bit to be the top. That leaf is my top piece. I don't know why. And then I've just got a little greeting from the Blossom in Bloom, which is a coordinating stamp set, and I have stamped inside with that stamp set, choosing a couple of the colours and the envelope as well. So I've just stamped that, and I'm just going to just cut at an angle like that, and I'm going to just use some liquid adhesive, just a tiny little splodge. You can use a snail or tape runner if you wish, and I'm just going to hook that little piece underneath my flower and then just make sure it's kind of lined up. So, oh, it's just moved. Come on, behave yourself. There we go. So there we are. Well, I hope you've liked this introduction to this die. You can get more information if you follow the link below this video. You'll see a link to my my blog, and there'll be some more information in there. And over the coming weeks, there'll be more samples using this stamp set and this die. So once again, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.